so it was pretty much every day, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Chipping in the garden. Quickly evolved to, in the summer, playing 9 holes before school, teeing off at 5:45, 6 in the morning, playing 9 holes. Just super evolved really quickly. And then, kind of fast forward through some junior golf, I was 5 years between starting golf and getting to tee it up in the Open Championship at Carnoustie. But, it was 5 years, but in that time, I'd probably squeezed in about 15 years of golf. So, it was, a funny little process, really.
Awesome. Obviously, you've done that 5-year stint, which you've described there, with 15 years worth of golf involved. There's got to be a heck of a lot of talent that goes into that, and I know firsthand, having watched you practice, and I've never seen anything like it. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk a bit about that Carnoustie. How was that qualifying process? How was all of that?
I mean, there was probably a small part of naivety, going in there completely fresh, no scar tissue. My mindset going into the qualifying was like, okay, well, I can shoot 3-4 under par, which I could at the time. My mindset was, well, it's quite easy, really. All I've got to do is do that 3 times, that first stage, go to finals, and then play 2 rounds and shoot 3 or 4 under twice, and I'll get in. And I was, that was honestly my mindset. And, I didn't really know anything different, maybe a bit of youth on my side. And I went to the first stage, and, quite funny, really. I was with a guy you might know, Michael O'Brien, another PGA professional now. At the time, he was a 14-year-old caddying for me. I remember arriving, and the Titleist guy was there giving out a dozen golf balls and gloves. And it was like the best thing I've ever seen in my life, getting a dozen brand new golf balls and, being around other pros. And then we got the yardage book, which is a very professional yardage book, which has all the details of every yard, every sprinkler, every mound. And we previously bought one from the pro shop, which was, 200, 150, in color and that sort of stuff. And I remember getting onto the first tee, getting the yardage book out and showing Mikey, my caddy, I'm 16, he's 14, and going, look how amazing this yardage book is. A professional yardage book, has all these details on it. And he looks at it and he goes, oh, that's terrible. He gets his one out. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, look at it. It's not even in colour. It was just like, what are we doing there? 2 kids just running around. Anyway, got into a playoff. Didn't actually get straight in, so I got into a playoff for a reserve spot. Got through in the playoff to get 30th reserve or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then was contemplating whether to even go to final qualifying. As it turned out, one of my friends was going up there. So he said, look, I'm driving, get in the car, come with me. So I did that. And then there's normally 3 courses. I think it was 3 courses in those days, and a long time ago now. And I was practicing at that course where he was. And fortunately, there was a guy called Michael Lunt, who was a member at Alton Heath, which was one of the clubs I was a member. And he was quite reasonably high up in the R&A, and he was the delegate at that course. And I think he probably pulled some strings, because 7 p.m. the night before it was going to start, he called me and said, Zane, you're in, because Sergio Garcia had just won the Irish Open. So the call came late. So it used to finish on a Saturday, and then qualifying was Sunday, Monday of the Open Championship week. And he called me and said, Zane, you're in, and you're here at this venue at Downfield. So I think he probably pulled some strings to get me to that one. But and it worked out really well. And I played with Robert Allenby in the qualifying, which was, again, it was a massive deal to me. 3 weeks previous, I was happy to play alongside PGA professionals, thinking that was the best thing, getting given a dozen golf balls. Next thing, I was playing with a PGA Tour star and a guy who was, obviously very well known. And that was quite an experience, really. I remember being on the first tee, being nervous as anything. I skied it off the first tee. Couldn't even reach the green with my second shot, 3 or 4 hours later, he had a go at me because I walked on his through line. Didn't even know what a through line was in those days. And then actually, I had like a semi-shank on a pitch shot on about the 5th hole. My 3rd shot to a par 5. And that was probably the turning point, because I just thought, well, the pressure came off then. I thought, well, it doesn't get any worse than that. And then I just proceeded to play 31 holes, like an absolute dream, to be honest, and hold everything. So,
awesome.
that was quite a cool experience. And then you finish on the Monday. You finish on the Monday, then Tuesday morning you're at the Open Championship, and I was hitting balls next to Greg Norman and Darren Clark, which again, through naivety, I thought was the norm because I just watched them on television and just thought this is what you're supposed to do. So I was there, and everyone, people around me were like, "Oh, look who that is!" But I'd just thought, "Yeah, what else? Where else would you be right now?"
That's awesome.
Awesome. It was a fun experience.
What was the next big thing from there? Did you turn pro pretty quickly on from there?
So I stayed amateur for quite a long time. I was super young. I was 16. I wasn't ready to turn professional. Before that, I was happy playing junior opens and so forth. So that kind of elevated my confidence a lot, and also elevated me into the England boys team for sure. I was already in the squad, and then just kind of 6 months later, I was playing for the England men's team. But in that short space, I got a couple of invites into European Tour events, which was a great experience. I didn't make the cut, but just super experience, and it just accelerated my confidence really.